What's going on, guys? Frank Nitty here. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Packers' embarrassing loss to the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Going into the football game, the NFL decided to move this game to Sunday Night Football. It was originally a 4 o'clock game, but they decided to put it on prime time because they felt this was a big time matchup between really two good football teams. Well, you're going to see, you obviously saw who was the good team and who wasn't. I'm not going to waste my time going through the ebb and flow of the game and stuff like that because it's absolutely pointless. So enjoy the ride because this is going to be a long video. But the moral of the story is we got our asses whooped, plain and simple, by the San Francisco 49ers. I was fully expecting this game to go this way. And the thing is, I don't make preview videos because it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless and it's a waste of time predicting outcomes of a football game because sometimes it's any given Sunday. NFL is any given Sunday. You might get a surprise. There's always usually at least a surprise win here and there. A team that you weren't expecting to win the game, or at least compete and give that opposing team that you thought would be a cakewalk a much more game than they do. I mean, look at how the Falcons beat the Saints a couple weeks ago. Or what was it, last week? But the point is it's a waste of time predicting outcomes of a football game. But, sometimes you just have that feeling in your gut. And my gut felt the same way. And it felt like it felt the same way as I did leading up to the game against the Chargers. I knew we were going to get dominated because the Niners are a much better, complete, well-coached football team than the Packers. It's not even close. I knew we were going to get our asses whooped. I knew it. Both the Chargers game and the Niners game were the two games I was worried about the most because I knew what was going to happen, and I was proven right again. If anybody watched my Chargers video when I talked about that and how I said that if we couldn't handle them, how the hell are we going to handle 49ers? And as such, we didn't. The Green Bay Packers story this year has all been about the new head coach, Matt LaFleur, and the changes to the offense and the offensive scheme, yada, yada, yada. You saw last night how we're not even close to being a playoff football team, let alone a Super Bowl contender. Matt LaFleur is a rookie head coach. I know that. And as such, you expect him to make a lot of rookie head coach mistakes in his first year. But I don't know what exactly was the game plan coming in, but I swear it had to be one of the worst ones yet. It says a lot about your football team when you come off a bye week and quickly show you did nothing to clean up the little things that hold this team back. What am I talking about? Okay, for example, Devontae Adams. After his first catch, he decides to taunt after picking up a first down. And yes, you can argue that wasn't a big deal, but still, he gets flagged and it backs us up. Right there, the number one thing that's always been killing our drives is flags on the offense. Right there on the first drive of the game. On the first drive of the game, the Packers still coming out there kicking themselves in the foot. The offense, it's one thing to go against really good defensive teams like the Niners, but when you got your offense that hurts its own chances of getting in any type of rhythm by consistently being penalized on dumb shit, when you see why this offense struggles, how it's so inconsistent. The Packers all game long never got into any rhythm whatsoever on offense. None. And this is something we've been struggling to do all season long. As such, we lose yardage, and the first drive quickly comes on in after Aaron Rodgers gets pressured, sacked, and the Niners force a fumble and quickly go up 7-0. And that told you how the rest of the game was going to go. We lost the game right there. Right there. After losing yardage on that flag and Rodgers fumbling the ball and setting him up for an easy touchdown, we lost the game right there on that first drive. There was no way in hell the Packers were going to make a run and going to be able to come back and beat that football team. There was no way in hell. So like I said, that one flag told the story of the entire game. This team is still not well coached. They're not. And again, I know Matt's only in his first year, but I refuse to not hold him and his coaching to any type of standards. The offense is so dysfunctional. They don't have an identity. Struggle all year to find consistent rhythm and dynamic plays. Packers offense is a joke. A complete joke. It doesn't take much to shut down our offense because we're so limited on that side of the ball. Right now, Aaron Jones is our most dynamic playmaker on offense. I keep saying how important it is to him and the offensive sets to get him going fast and early. Whether it's running the football or catching it. And it's not, and the thing is, at the end of the day, it's not just Jones. All those guys have to get it going. Aaron Rodgers needs to get it going. Devontae Adams has to get it going. Jimmy Graham and the rest of our receivers all have to get it going for the offense to succeed. And they can't. Jimmy Graham is an absolute waste of money. He's a waste of money. The Packers never should have signed him. A waste of money. Absolutely no production at the tight end position still. Still. You watch the Dallas Cowboys, and somehow, some way, they still keep finding ways to get the ball to Jason Witten. And what are we doing? More often than not, if the ball goes Jimmy Graham's way, he's going to drop it. On the little targets that he already gets. Devontae Adams is our only big play wide receiver. Scheme around him, and there goes our passing attack. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Geronimo Allison, Alan Lazard, Kumaro, they're not the answer. Those guys last night combined for only 4 catches on 10 targets for 23 yards. Geronimo Allison in particular, he now has 10 catches, gaining fewer than 5 yards this season. So basically, whenever Geronimo gets the ball in his hands, he's immediately taken down for a tackle. Or he's catching the ball out of the backfield. Play calls that just aren't designed for him. Because he just doesn't have the speed and athleticism to pick up yards after the catch. He doesn't. And again, this is why, and you wonder why the offense continues to struggle. The Packers' 8-3 record is a lie. It's a lie. Are you gonna know something worse? Just to prove my point on that, the Packers are worse than both the Bengals and the Dolphins on third downs. The Bengals, who haven't won a football game all year, they're 0-11. The Dolphins, who only won 2 fucking games. Those 2 teams have still converted on third downs and third and longs more than we have. The Cincinnati Bengals are 36.4% on third downs. The Dolphins, 34%. The Packers, 33.6% on third and longs, meaning about 6+ yards or more. The Bengals, 27.8%. The Dolphins, 21.3%. The Packers, a measly 20%. That is a problem. You cannot be an elite team. You can't be a fucking playoff team struggling to stay on the football field. You can't be a playoff team not being able to convert on third downs in big games like this. I absolutely just cannot stand the Packers offense, and they've been disappointing this offense for years now. We are absolutely paying the price. Paying the price for the lack of necessary trades that could have been done. The Niners, they go out there and they grab Sanders and looking at he's producing. But our current GM, he's all like, well, I felt better after beating a damn team like the fucking Raiders, who are good on the defensive side of the ball. We feel good because we got those guys going on against a bad defensive football team. So we're not going to make any trades of wide receivers. You idiots. And we're paying the price. We're absolutely paying the price. We're paying the price for the lack of, the lack of free agency signings that we could have done over the years by our former GM and his horrible drafting. And you see how much it's affected this football team. When you talk about how much we invested on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to free agent pickups and draft picks, and we see the results is with that. And when we get on offense, nothing. How is it that someone like a rookie quarterback who's in his first year, Kyler Murray, who has a worse offensive line, by the way, who's under pressure more than Aaron Rodgers is, still able to make more plays against the 49ers defense than we did? That's how you know the level that this Packers offense is at. That's how you know this Packers offense is a joke. That's why I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Because the Packers, the way the offense is playing, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. This is not a playoff team. Playoffs and playoff and elite teams play better than that. They compete and win big games on the road. The 49ers and both the Seattle Seahawks, who are at the top of the NFC, have won all their road games. This is an 8-8 football team. Unreal how we suck so bad when we got to play out west. What is it about going out west that the Packers just, some reason, just cannot beat these Western football teams? Whether we're going to Seattle, going out there in San Francisco, LA, we're just trash. So what else there left is there to say about the offense other than they suck? This is a garbage offense. I don't want to hear any excuses. Brian Bulaga getting hurt, the offensive line, none of that shit. Because, yeah, the O-line is struggling. But because Rodgers holds on the football too long also, it's not making their job any easier. And Aaron's a guy with a huge problem of looking for the big play instead of taking what's there. That's his main problem as a quarterback, because the truth is, there's always at least one guy open. There's always guys open. And what I mean is, even if the underneath or the short intermediate routes, there's always some guy to dump it off to. I remember when we got down to the goal line, before all that shenanigans happened in the third quarter, he completely missed Geronimo Allison making a curl route over to the side of the pylons. If he had thrown it to him, just maybe Geronimo could have turned around and ran to the end zone. Maybe, just maybe. We only got in the end zone because of flags. Our best plays on offense is the stripes, the referees calling flags against the opposing teams to help keep our drives going because the offense is so inconsistent and garbage. The offense has only gotten it going against terrible teams. Let's just call it what it is. Whether it gets the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Eagles, who were absolutely horrible, were the times where the offense was the most productive. But you see what happens to the offense when they play a team that's at least competent on defense, whether it be competent or really good. When we're going up against really good defenses like the 49ers, we don't have a chance in hell. The offensive scheme, Matt LaFleur's, I don't believe in Matt LaFleur's scheme at all, man. It's a scheme that just does not work. I mean, the defense, there's really nothing to say about the defense than I haven't already said so many times. To their credit, I'll give them a little credit. They kept us in the game to about the end of the first half, but eventually collapsed. From A, the offense not doing anything, and B, allowing big plays downfield, which has become such a liability to the football team. I mean, the secondary, look, man, those guys are young. King, Jair, Savage back there. So I don't know, they're going to make a lot of mental mistakes. Veterans like Jermon Williams and Adrian Amos, It's just still not productive enough. These guys are allowing big plays at the worst possible times, and it's unreal how pathetic they are at defending the tight ends. I mean, look at this. Tight ends have absolutely had their way with the Packers this year. Zach Ertz, 7 receptions for 65 yards. Darren Waller, 7 receptions, 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 4 receptions, 63 yards and 1 touchdown. Hunter Henry, 7 catches, 84 yards. Greg Olsen, 8 receptions, 98 yards. George Kittle, 6 receptions for 129 yards and 1 touchdown. The inability to cover the tight end spot only highlights the lack of cover to linebackers that we have. The thing is, I don't have nothing bad to say about Za'Darius and Preston Smith. Those guys hustle and play hard every game. They do. You see the fire and passion they bring to the football team and to the defense in general. But they're pass rushers, man. That's what they are. They're pass rushing linebackers, not covering linebackers. Blake Martinez, same thing. An up and downhill linebacker, not good in coverage. And teams see that and exploit it with their tight ends and running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. That's why we're always playing more defensive backs than linebackers. It's just too easy. It really is. It's just too easy. When you talk about what like Jimmy Garoppolo, there was really nothing. He didn't really have to do that much. Because while the Packers struggle so much at giving up big plays downfield and covering tight ends, we also know how horrible they are tackling and stopping the run. This is a bad football team, guys. This is not me being negative or not trying to see the positive light. This is not a good football team. When you talk about how inconsistent the offense is and how bad the defense is. And that's why the Packers are where they are right now. Because the lack of production at so many levels, even on special teams. You want to know something funny? Here's another stat I'm going to throw at you. On special teams, the Packers have negative 11 yards, a negative 11 total yards on punt returns this season. That is an NFL record for fewest in a season. And the fewest in a season is 27 yards by the 1965 St. Louis Cardinals. The record, again, is 27 yards. We have negative 11 on punt return yards this season. Teams have punted to Green Bay 41 times. They returned an NFL low 8 punts with yardages of -9, -2, -1, 0, 0, 0, and 1. Unreal, I know. Garbage. I mean, the worst team in NFL on special teams. Whether it's kick or punt returns, we get nothing out of it. And while we're always losing the battle of field position. And again, the question is, how can you be a good football team when you suck at all three phases? This team is a joke. The offense is a joke. The defense is trash. Special teams is garbage. And that's why the Packers failed last night games. And why when we run into for real teams like the Niners, we get our asses whipped because we're not like a well-coached team. We don't have playmakers. We can't convert on third downs. We can't stop giving up big plays to opposing teams. We suck at tackling. We can't stop the run. We're absolutely horrendous in return yardage. Football is the ultimate team sport, and the Packers are horrible at all phases and why they'll ultimately fail in the playoffs once again this year. And that's if they even get in there, because right now we're tied in division with the Minnesota Vikings, who have gotten it going. Their offense has gotten it going. Kirk Cousins, all those guys are in a rhythm, unlike us. I don't care about what the rest of the schedule looks like and the quote-unquote easy games, because at the end of the day, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, we got to end the year with 3 straight division games. The Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions aren't going to lay down and just hand us a win. We got to go out there and earn a W every week. That's what great football teams do, and we are not. The Packers are not a good football team. This team right now should really only be 8-8. I mean, at least once the season is over. They are not among the elite teams like the Niners, the Patriots, and the Seattle. And I know those teams had their problems too, but you look at the Packers and compare them to those teams, it's night and day. Because the Patriots still have at least a very reliable defense that doesn't give a lot of points. Seattle goes out there on the road and wins tough football games and gets dynamic, clutch plays from Russell Wilson. And the 49ers are just a complete team all the way, all around. The Packers, not so much, man. So yeah, there you go, man. I completely apologize because I knew that I was gonna go a long time. I knew this was gonna be a long video. If you watched all the way to the end and you hear everything I had to say, I really appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment if you watched the video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. The Packers are garbage. I'm out. Peace.